This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the studio's cash grabbing and copyright flagging for reasons unclear. It's the most wonderful time of the year. They're the dumbest movies they sell. All the holiday tripe that makes me wanna gripe. Seriously, what the hell? They're the dumbest movies they sell. Oh, why me? There'll be movies for riffing, comics for nitpicking. Of course, it must be a Bob show. There'll be bad animation, dogs talking, damnation, and plots that you cannot follow. What the hell's going on? It's the most wonderful time of the year. I might be misbehaving, but I've got my raven under mistletoe. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hey guys, it's the Christmas season once again, and boy do we have quite a selection of films to review this time around. Let's start things off with The Grinch by Illumination. This is another one of those movies that are currently in theaters right now, so I'm sorry I don't have any clips to show. This is just the part where I give my initial impressions just by looking at the trailer. And so far I'm feeling kind of meh about it. I mean, I'm looking at this trailer, and it looks like the sort of thing where, I don't know, it's like all the best bits are right here, and even the best bits aren't very good. I mean, we see the Grinch walking around Whoville, and he's perfectly fine with them, and they all seem more or less fine with him. I mean, aren't they supposed to, like, fear this guy? I don't know, maybe that was just a carryover from the Jim Carrey film, but, carryover from the Jim Carrey film. I see what I did there, but, I'm seeing him just casually walking through the streets of Whoville with his scarf and his hands folded behind his back. It's like, is this the Grinch or is this Gru from Despicable Me? But, I don't know. I've been wrong with trailers before. I know I need to go into this movie with an open mind, and maybe I can have my mind changed for the better, because if I'm ever getting a bad feeling about a movie, I love to be proven wrong. So, yeah, I guess that's all there is to say at this point. It doesn't look all that great, but maybe it's better than it looks. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess I will see you guys in a few hours. Okay, so I just got back from the theater, and this movie was disappointing. The first thing to notice is how they're playing Fahu Forays in the underscore. It's unfortunate enough that there are already 2 other movies to compare this to, and let's face it, people are going to compare them to it, but reminding them that these other movies exist is not going to do this movie any favors. And for some reason, the movie's being narrated to us by Pharrell? I know that he is to Illumination as what Randy Newman is to Pixar, but why? The TV special was narrated by Boris Karloff, the Jim Carrey movie was narrated by Anthony Hopkins. This story can only be narrated by a horror star. Man, just imagine what would happen if Christopher Lee was still alive.
Every who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not.
But he's dead now, so yeah, go with Pharrell!
Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
we're introduced to all the Who's down in Whoville setting up for Christmas, and it just looks like any other town. One thing I really enjoyed about the Jim Carrey version was how all the Who's were embracing just the worst parts of the holiday. The ridiculous overconsumption, the overly competitive contests. That movie did a really good job of justifying the Grinch's hatred towards Christmas and the Who's. In this movie, all the Who's just like Christmas a lot, and the way they're doing it, there's nothing really wrong with it. We then meet the Grinch himself, who frankly is just all too appealing. He has white eyes instead of yellow, his teeth are nice and straight, his fur is soft and fluffy. Whatever happened to there being termites in his smile, or him being as cuddly as a cactus? And no, you can't say that that's just this movie's way of being different from the other two movies by excluding those traits, because they still have the song, "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," and that song still includes those lyrics. And frankly, this version of the song sucks too. Thanks for whizzing all over Thurl Ravenscroft movie. And the casting of Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch is confusing. You have a British actor who is no stranger to playing villains. He's in an American movie where the Brits are almost always the villains, and yet he sounds like some American schmo? I don't get it. It also turns out that the Grinch is nice to Max. No! Yes, Max is his one and only friend, but he's not supposed to be able to externalize that. They also showed the Grinch as a sympathetic character way too early. Immediately after we meet him, they make a joke about how much time he spends emotionally eating. If the Grinch is supposed to be a sympathetic character, then we're supposed to learn about that much later in the story after we get the first impression that he's just an asshole. Then he visits all the Who's down in Whoville as he does a little bit of grocery shopping, and it looks like he's just kind of annoyed by Christmas. Except for a couple of seconds where he's for some reason stalked by a mob of insane carolers, it doesn't look like he hates Christmas all that much at all. And aside from said insane carolers, everyone else is perfectly nice. They don't treat him like a monster, or even that weird grump who just doesn't like Christmas. They treat him like one of their own. We then meet little Cindy Lou Who as she's trying to get a very important letter to Santa Claus. The only thing that she wants for Christmas is for Santa to help her mom, who's taking care of her family single-handedly. Because, of course, Santa can do that. And I'm sorry for sounding like a dick, but I really think this movie could have benefited from seeing the mom suffer a bit more from her lot in life. Yes, I know that being a single parent is hard, but so far the worst that we see of it is her falling asleep on the bus after pulling a double shift. But other than that, it looks like she has things pretty well in hand. Cindy Lou Who herself is just an amalgam of all the girls from Despicable Me. Because turning the Grinch into Gru just wasn't enough, was it? After Cindy Lou Who fails to get her letter to Santa, because losing her letter and then instantly finding it constitutes a fail, she enlists the aid of her friends to help her catch Santa Claus. And they all look exactly like the Minions. Look, Illumination, if you want to make a Despicable Me Christmas special, just make a Despicable Me Christmas special. After the Grinch goes home and plays All By Myself on his pipe organ. Get it? Because he's lonely! He gets the idea to throw a giant snowball at the Christmas tree in Town Square. Remember when Jim Carrey's Grinch lit the Christmas tree on fire? I do. The lighting of said Christmas tree is being hosted by the mayor of Whoville, who's played by Angela Lansbury. I think she has only 2 lines in the entire movie, so, you know, money well spent. The Grinch fails at his dastardly plan to throw a snowball at the Christmas tree, and this somehow triggers a flashback as to why he hates Christmas. In this flashback, we see that he was an orphan, and he didn't get a chance to celebrate Christmas with all the Who's. That makes no frickin' sense whatsoever. 1. There are no orphans in Whoville, but apparently they have an orphanage where the Grinch stays all by himself? Where are the other orphans? Where are the adults? Why is he completely alone here? 2. Everyone in Whoville is perfectly kind to the Grinch. Why wouldn't they be kind to him when he was a child and adopt him? 3. Even if he never got a chance to be adopted, even if he never got to celebrate Christmas as a child, everyone now is all too eager to celebrate Christmas with him, now, today, in the present. He wants to enjoy Christmas, so why doesn't he just do that now? So he goes back to his cave and gets the idea to steal Christmas, and for a few seconds, it looks like he's actually the monster that he's supposed to be, as he's plotting about stealing Christmas. I will steal their Christmas! Just for a few seconds. Of course, he has to dress up like Santa Claus if he's gonna steal Christmas, so the first thing he does is go wrangle some reindeer. This is, of course, where he meets Fred the reindeer. Because audiences kinda sorta liked Duke from The Secret Life of Pets, so Illumination had to squeeze him into this movie too. Fred also exists for no other reason than to make fat jokes, which is off-putting. The movie opens up with the Grinch overeating as an emotional response to his loneliness. Is this really the direction we want to go? He then leaves to go back to his family before the Grinch can steal Christmas, so, yeah, he was completely pointless. As the Grinch is working out how to steal Christmas, he points out to Max and Fred how tempting cookies and presents are. 1. Why do you have to resist cookies? 2. You are not tempted by presents, you're disgusted by them. Or are we supposed to forget how all those Who girls and boys will wake bright and early, they'll rush for their toys, and then all the noise, 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 noise! So the Grinch hitches Max to his sleigh after a stirring bit of encouragement, because remember, the Grinch is nice to Max. Ugh. And then Max pulls the sleigh down to Whoville faster than if they just sledded down the mountain somehow. Physics! After sliding down the chimney on stop number 1, which for some reason is not a tight pinch, the Grinch uses a whole bunch of crazy gadgets to steal Christmas house by house. There are even a couple of points where the Grinch runs into a sleepwalking Who, and an angry cat that latches onto his face. Because if you're gonna borrow elements from the Jim Carrey movie, it's those elements! They finally get to the last house, which, as it turns out, is Cindy Lou Who's place. Cindy Lou Who was supposed to be the first house they hit.
You're nitpicking way too much on this one.
It's in the book! After the Grinch falls into a trap set by Cindy Lou Who, because who needs heartwarming childlike innocence if you can just make the movie into Home Alone 5? And what does the Grinch say when she asks why he's taking her tree? One of the lights wasn't working, so I thought I'd take it back to the shop and fix it. What is the point in adapting this story if you have no desire to recreate some of its most iconic dialogue? So then Cindy Lou Who asks if the Grinch can help her with her mom, and somehow this moves him more than if she had asked Santa to wish the Grinch a Merry Christmas. So he takes everyone's Christmas stuff all the way to the top of Mount Crumpet, except the giant Christmas tree in town square? What? What is the point in trying to steal Christmas if you're not going to steal the most offensive icon around which all the Who's down in Whoville will sing, 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 sing? So yeah, all the Who's start singing despite their lack of Christmas crap. And the movie completely glosses over the Grinch's realization that Christmas doesn't come from a store. Ugh. The Grinch then takes all their stuff back, and he leaves for home because he feels bad for what he did. And you'd think this would be the point where all the Who's stop him so they can celebrate Christmas with him, but they just let him go. I mean, it's fine that he feels guilty about stealing Christmas, but isn't the whole point that he's supposed to be so overwhelmed by the Christmas spirit that he just has to give it and celebrate it with everybody? It's not like anybody in town has any kind of a problem with him, so why wouldn't they want to celebrate with him? So the whole day goes by before Cindy Lou finally invites him to Christmas dinner. He's greeted by all their family and friends who, again, have no problem with him. He gives a big emotional speech on what Christmas means and blah blah blah. And all this movie ended up doing was make me appreciate the Jim Carrey film more than I already did. The animation is good, and the art style is very reminiscent of Dr. Seuss's actual works. But the Grinch is too visually appealing, his character is completely wrong, the story deviates from the source material without actually enhancing anything, the Grinch's motivations for hating Christmas and the Who's don't make any sense, the Who's themselves are too perfect and nice. Overall, this movie was just a watered-down disappointment. The best thing that this movie does is remind you that as far as the Grinch is concerned, there are plenty of options. I suggest you keep on watching and enjoying the Chuck Jones cartoon, or maybe give the Jim Carrey version another look. See you later!
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My, something stinky underneath the tree, and oh no, you just stepped in me. Festive in my Santa cap. Oh, she brings the wrap. Santa's reindeer went number 2. He made the cutest little poo, and I'm known as such. Merry Christmas. You can't touch this.
Hey guys, I have a package here from one of my producers, Kim Carter, and she asks, may I please be on unboxing? Well, I was just going to do this one in private, but okay, since you asked.
You be nice to Kim. Kim takes care of you.
She does. She does. Let's see here. I'm just kidding.
Hi, Kim.
What does Kim send me today? Ooh, got a whole bunch of fun stuff.
Oh, I hope it's terrible.
Oh, I'm sure it is. First, we have this letter, which reads, Dear Bob, it's me, Kim. I heart your show. It makes me happy when skies are gray.
Aww.
I always look forward to your videos. Hey, I'm in a theater group called Epic Players, and we are extras in the movie Good Time. The original ending was Robert Pattinson's getting thrown in a cop car at the end. But test audiences hated it, so Epic Players were called in. What you see of me, multiple shots of my forehead, because I'm standing next to Ben Safdie. Me walking across the room. Me standing in the background. Also, I'm wearing a white shirt and my brown hair in a ponytail. Also, I'm the first Epic player listed. Also, enjoy The Giver, the book that's included here. Happy reviewing. P.S. No, we did not get to meet Robert Pattinson. Oh, sorry about that. Love, Kim.
That's cool that you're in a theater group.
Yes, and very cool that you're not only doing theater, but you're chosen for movie pickups, too. That's awesome.
Yeah, okay, so what is mostly your forehead? That's a forehead that most people don't get in the movie.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the fact that I played a Vulcan in a college film.
First, we have the play of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Is this the musical, or is it... Let's see. Yes, this is definitely in play format here. Very cool. And we got...
I would love to see that done as a play.
Oh, it's out there. I've been meaning to take a look at that myself. We have The Giver by Lois Lowry. I have great honor, The Giver said. So will you. But you will find that it is not the same as power. Life with the community where Jonas lives is idyllic. Destined birth mothers produce new children who are assigned to appropriate family units. Who are assigned to appropriate family units, not appropriate, what am I thinking? One male, one female to each. The citizens are assigned their parents and their jobs. No one thinks to ask questions. Everyone obeys. The community is a precisely choreographed world without conflict, inequality, divorce, unemployment, injustice, or choice. Yeah, sounds nice until you get to that part. Everyone is the same, except Jonas. At the ceremony of 12, the community's 12-year-olds eagerly accept their predetermined life assignments, but Jonas is chosen for something special. He begins instruction in his life's work with a mysterious old man known only as the Giver. Gradually, Jonas learns that power lies in feelings, but when his own power is put to the test, when he must try to save someone he loves, he may not be ready. Is it too soon? Or too late? Ba-ba-bum!
That sounds interesting.
Yes, now therein lies the challenge. When do I find time to read?
I know, I got the Harry Potter, with the something child, what is it? I can't remember. The play in a book form. I got it for Christmas. And Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Have not even cracked them. Haven't had a moment. You have even less time to read.
Yes. That's what happens when I'm trying to review and do a day job.
If only you could do Bob's show full time. Then you would have the content you would put out.
Oh yes.
The films, the behind the scenes stuff,
maybe book reviews, who knows?
Ooh.
Patreon, go there.
Hint.
Weird. And we also have 2 DVDs here included, which are The Giver, with Jeff Bridges and Meryl Streep. Let's see, whoops, he said with Butterfingers.
Yeah, really. Just throw it around, why don't you?
The story of The Giver centers on Jonas, Brenton Thwaites, probably saying that, no, it ain't wrong. A young man who lives in a seemingly ideal, if colorless, world of conformity and contentment. Yet as he begins to spend time with the giver, Jeff Bridges, who is the sole keeper of all the community's memories, Jonas quickly begins to discover the dark and deadly truths of his community's secret past. With his newfound power of knowledge, he realizes that the stakes are higher than imagined, a matter of life and death for himself and those he loves most. At extreme odds, Jonas knows that he must accept their world to protect them all, a challenge that no one has ever succeeded at before. The Giver, directed by Philip Noyce and screenplay by Michael Mitnick and Robert B. Wide, I don't know, is based on Lois Lowry's beloved young adult novel of the same name, which was the winner of the 1994 Newbery Medal and has sold over 12 million copies worldwide. Yeah, definitely gonna take a look at this too.
Yeah, we'd probably spare the 2 hours to watch the movie before we'll be able to spare the hours and hours to read the book.
Yeah, kind of. Sorry, book, I'm sure you're awesome, but time constraints. And we also have Good Time with Robert Pattinson, which is kind of sad because you said that you were in a Good Time film, and I was thinking, oh wow, you were in one of those crappy animated films that Phaelus reviews? I don't know how you get your forehead in that thing, but if you do, awesome.
Congratulations on having a famous forehead.
Indeed. From acclaimed filmmakers Josh and Benny Safdie, heaven knows what, and Lenny Cook, comes this hypnotic, adrenaline-fueled crime thriller. In a career-defining role, Robert Pattinson stars as Connie Nikas, who embarks on a twisted one-night odyssey through the city's underworld in a desperate and dangerous attempt to get his brother, Nick, out of jail. Well, I'm glad that this is put up there as a career-defining role for Robert Pattinson. I would hate for Twilight to be his only claim to fame. I love you. We shouldn't be together.
Does he actually act in this one?
I remember him acting in Harry Potter, so he might.
Okay, he did act in Harry Potter, but I felt that his character in Harry Potter was kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah, but he's dreamy, so who cares? What else is there?
Except he's not dreamy. I don't think he's cute. I'm sorry. I don't. If I had to pick a team to be on for those stupid Twilight movies, it would have been Team Jacob, because Taylor Lautner? How do you pronounce his last name?
Lautner. Yeah, I think that's it.
Looks good with his shirt off. I'm sorry.
And ignoring that, sorry, there's just more inherent drama to the whole werewolf thing than the vampires, who seem to have it under control.
And I know Taylor Lautner can act.
There's that too.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be with me because I'm a veggie vampire. What? I know, I'm dangerous. No, you're not.
You're kind of boring and bland. You're my own personal heroine. Okay, but focus on what Kim sent you.
Yes.
Thanks, Kim.
Yes, there'll be more time to make fun of Twilight later. We got time. There's always room for making fun of Twilight. But thank you very much, Kim. Hopefully I'll find some kind of time to read the book, which is apparently awesome. And if not, then hey, I got the movie to enjoy, and I will be sure to look for you in Good Time. That's going to be fun. And if anyone else has stuff that they'd like to send me, fan mail, packages, whatever, go ahead and send it to the P.O. Box in the corner, and I'll see you later.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more. more. More.